G'day guys, and welcome back to the start of what I think is going to be a really exciting journey, and that I'm stoked to be taking you guys along that journey with me. So you would have seen a couple of videos ago that I started rebuilding the shed, which is the shed that we're in now. Unfortunately, I had some camera issues, so I had to go get it repaired, which meant I didn't have really a camera to properly to document that whole entire process. So I apologize in advance for that. But what we'll do is we'll go back a couple of steps and sort of give you a bit of an understanding as to why we went about building this shed and where we're going with it. So after leaving Darwin, after rebuilding the car, I decided to head down to Melbourne. I was offered an opportunity to be part of a commercial with BF Goodrich, which I was absolutely stoked about because it was an awesome opportunity after being in the shed for so long to test out the car and also just get back to adventuring and doing the sort of things I love there. So I went down to Melbourne and did the commercial, which the commercial was centered around leave no trace. So a really, really good message. And once I finished that, I slowly made my way back up the east coast to south coast of New South Wales, which is where my family farm is. And whilst I was driving up, I sort of used that as a bit of an opportunity to have a think about what I want to do next. Because, there are a couple of options and I was sort of a little bit confused as to what the next chapter of, I guess, my journey is. And this is why I love the road, because it's a perfect opportunity to really have a think and to answer some of those questions that you otherwise sometimes or put aside when you're so busy. So I wanted to figure out what I wanted to go do, and at the same time I used that road trip as a time to recoup and get some rest. I think I was sleeping something like 12, 14 hours on the road. I was just so exhausted after the build, and it was a perfect opportunity to catch up on some sleep. So I arrived at the farm after, I think it was just 6 weeks on the road, and I decided to consult with my parents about finding a place on the property where I could build the shed and start my own restoration business. So that's where we are now, and this is pretty much predominantly the start of Hudson Coachworks, which I'm really, really excited to bring to fruition and to make something out of it. So, yeah, the journey of building the shed, I should say, building the shed itself was a journey. It's been a wild 9 months, and I've been so stoked to have family and friends come to my aid and actually help us put this thing together. And as a result of that, it just, there's a lot more meaning in something when there's a bit of a story behind it, and when, people have rallied to come to your aid to help you out, particularly if it's a cause, something that you're, really passionate about. So look, I won't keep going here. I want to get straight into the point of this whole thing, which is I've been lucky enough to find a client who's willing to take their chance on me, I guess, on this. And I'm super excited to start this whole process on his 2-door Range Rover, which is going to be more or less a nut and bolt resto, but at the same time it's going to be a resto mod, which I'm super stoked about. So let's what I'll start off with is I'll give you guys a bit of a tour around the shed, and then we'll bring the new project car in and just get straight onto it. We all know how long this whole process takes, so I just want to get going and bring it to fruition. So let's get this car out and see what we can make out of this whole opportunity. All right, let's go. So starting at the back, we have the workbench that runs the whole entire width of the shed. Now I've built it so that there's a bench up the top, a bench in the middle, and then you've also got the floor for storage. So currently I've got a lot of things all jam-packed, which I am currently just sieving and going through.
However, there will be a trolley toolbox that sits in that corner that will house all my tools so that I can actually just roll it around. So if I'm working on the front of the car, I can take it to the front and it'll be sitting at the front. And if I have it at the back, I can do that as well. So that will be super helpful. And then that will clear up the bench as well so that I can actually work on the bench.
So next up is this industrial sandblaster. Previously, I cleaned up all the parts by hand with a hand grinder and with a Y wheel, I should say. So this is going to be a vast improvement, make things a lot quicker and a lot safer. This is pretty much big enough to fit a couple of rims all in the one hit, and then you can also do other large components. I think if I was to strip the diff housing, I could probably get the without any of the auxiliaries on the side, almost in at a diagonal. So it should save a lot of time, be able to clean up all the parts really nicely, and I'll be able to do a lot more of that stuff in-house rather than sending it out to get bead blasted or sandblasted, that sort of stuff. So this is I'm stoked to have this. Next up is we have got a bench grinder with a linisher on this one. This is, I haven't bolted this in just because I'm sort of sussing out where exactly it goes and whether it works, but so far so good. I think I like the layout. And here's the filter so I can actually sieve and clean that out, change it over, and it's super easy rather than having to crawl around the back of the unit. Going around to the next one, we have a hydraulic press. Disregard the welding helmet, obviously. This can operate both manually by hand, or can be hooked up to the compressor so that it can be controlled pneumatically as well. This is going to be super, super handy. Be able to do radius arms, CV joints, universal joints, all that sort of stuff that needs some sort of press to actually do the job properly. Previously, I think I've done everything by using a hammer. So again, another vast improvement. It should take me a lot less time and also should just give a much better job rather than hammering your way through these things. The next bit of kit is the pedestal drill, or I should actually say I've got a welder down here, which I've had forever. So I've brought that into the shed. But the next bit of kit is the pedestal drill with a nice little vise to sit on, which you can bolt onto any direction. Really, really clean cuts. And, nice little visor to protect you. Works an absolute charm as well. Again, nothing's bolted all along this whole edge here, just until I sort of finalise what works and where things should be placed. And lastly, we've got the engine stand and also a industrial cold saw, which is an absolute beast. Can cut up to, I think, 90 by 90 mil. And then you've got your roller here. I'll put a support stand over there. I can lower the bench or the pedestal drill to match so that I can support the steel on this end. And aside from pretty much this whole lot of kit, the only thing I need to get is a compressor which will operate the pneumatic press and also the sandblaster, and also I can run my spray gun and that sort of stuff. So absolutely stoked with the bit of kit that we've got, and excited for the journey. So there you have it, guys. Absolutely ecstatic over the journey that's ahead. And if you guys have any particular questions in regards to the up and coming build, the shed, or even if you've got any pointers from any past videos that I've done, if you guys watch the rebuild of my whole entire car, and if there's something that you guys wanted to see more of, or if you didn't like the way I presented in some sort of manner, let me know. I really don't take anything to heart. I just see it as an opportunity to be able to build on my videography skills and also on my storytelling. So yeah, excited for you guys to be part of the journey, and I will catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.